the kidneys from my son, so I have to live meaningfully.
From young, Michael realized that his father was very cautious of his daily diet. It hurt Michael to see that his father, Mr. Lau Huat Heng, was unable to eat many kinds of fruits and vegetables. As Michael gradually grew up, he came to know that his father had kidney failure. 6 years ago, when there was a need for his father to go for kidney transplantation, he stepped forward to donate one of his kidneys to his father.
Before the transplant, there was a long list of things that he couldn't eat. Vegetables, apples. But after the transplant, the first time I saw him eat an apple, I knew that I made the right decision.
When the kidneys don't function, patients go into what is called end-stage kidney failure, which means that they will no longer be able to pass urine, they won't be able to clear toxins from their body. So if a patient doesn't find a way to replace their kidney function either with dialysis or with transplantation, eventually this patient will pass away because the kidneys are that important in maintaining health.
We really want to see him be able to have the energy and the time, play, and take care of his grandchildren, see his grandchildren go to school, graduating for college, or even getting married. So we want the best for my dad, and kidney transplant was definitely the best option.
Before the transplant, Mr. Lau objected to Michael donating his kidney to him for fear of his son's health in the future. After many lengthy discussions, Michael finally persuaded his father he could still lead a normal and healthy life with only one kidney.
Indeed, both donor and the recipient will need to undergo major surgery, and there are risks associated with the major surgery. But these risks are not that different from somebody who needs to go for perhaps a gallbladder removal or a womb removal. So some of the common surgeries that we as normal healthy individuals go for.
There's nothing to worry about. I do my best to make sure that I stay healthy, but what happens happens. Just hope that he actually enjoys his life now, with us, with his grandchildren, and that will make our actions all worthwhile.
6 years have passed and Michael has resumed his usual lifestyle. He strongly believes that his decision to donate his kidney not only gives his father a second life, it also brings happiness and blessings to the family. This is Madam E. At the age of 62, she does simple housework at home while waiting for her husband to return from work. 6 years ago, she could not even do simple household chores and had problems moving about the house.
2011年就是我婆婆过世的那年，所以她就开始忽然间晕倒啊，就很像昏迷这些。
Madam E started to act irrationally for no reason, tore up almost all family photos, and barely recognized her family members. She was even aggressive towards them. The family was at their wits' end. Then they finally learned the truth behind Madam E's inexplicable behavior.
Madam E suffers from an enzyme deficiency called citrullinemia, and this involves the inability to metabolize certain substances in the liver, as a result of which it leads to confusion, disorientation, which could lead to things like falls and the ability to converse with people. It is not life-threatening, but it's life-compromising.
After waiting in vain for 4 years for a deceased liver donor, the doctor suggested for the family to consider living liver donation. Jia Hui, her youngest son, immediately volunteered to be a living donor for his mother.
唔知點解我唔清楚啦，後尾我知道我仔胡光，我好擔心，我同醫生講唔會成，醫生講你唔換你唔得嘅，係話我本來我係唔會， 係咯，嗰係我弟咯，我弟弟啊係邊個同父母愛啊？我問你。
我覺得不用考慮啊，因為不要等到失去才後悔。你要好，你就是要 do your part。後面的東西就給醫院醫生來幫你 settle。
In a living donor, after you've donated your liver, in 6 weeks, the liver is completely regenerated to its normal size. And that's quite an incredible feat, but something which nature has bestowed upon the liver and which allows us to use this fact to help other people.
After her discharge from hospital, Madam E's health has greatly improved. Both mother and son are leading a normal life after the successful transplant. 2 months ago, the whole family was able to fulfill their dream, enjoying their first family vacation in Thailand.
If not because of him, I won't be killed.
Fatima is an ITE student studying nursing. In 2012, she was getting out from a swimming pool when she felt her hands trembling. From that fateful day, she had persistent fevers every night till she was diagnosed with leukemia. Fatima was only 14 at that time. The family could not believe the doctor as she was actively involved in sports.
We can treat quite a number of blood stem cell problems, quite a number of blood cancers with chemotherapy, drugs that we take, various immune therapies as well. For example, in some patients with acute myeloid leukemia, if we find that there are certain bad genetic features that tell us for sure chemotherapy alone will not be enough, a blood stem cell transplant will be completely necessary in these patients in order to have a chance of cure of the disease.
Fatima's family faced negative comments from relatives and friends when they heard she was having a transplant from her younger brother. Their concerns stemmed from fears that it will have side effects for the younger sibling. But Fatima's parents were convinced by the doctors that it was a safe procedure.
There is almost nothing in the world that I can say is completely free of risk. The life and death risks associated with bone marrow donation or blood stem cell donation is probably the same as taking 1 or 2 aeroplane flights, and maybe not higher than that. And we take aeroplane flights for a lot less reason than saving a life.
As a Muslim family, basically it's all about the faith to the religion, and the teaching of Quran is to save life. The MUIS itself, the religious body in Singapore also, has declared that it's permitted to donate organs in order to save life.
I feel so touched because to see him like very cheerful when he was doing the harvesting. He didn't complain of pain, so it's actually quite thoughtful of him.
I feel very happy because I helped my sister from the cancer.
Fatima initially had to stop schooling because of her illness. Now, because of her brother's gift of life, she's motivated to complete her studies. She wants to give back to society by specializing in oncology nursing to help other cancer patients.
The things that have happened after my gallbladder transplant is something that I wouldn't change for the world. When I was 18 years old, during my A-levels, actually I was diagnosed with this leukemia called acute myeloid leukemia when I first went for my checkup. When they found that all my blood platelets are very low, so when I googled the symptoms, they said that it's possibly leukemia. So I was already mentally prepared for it. The more worrying thing was telling my parents. Me and my dad are very close, so I think probably he took it the hardest. When we were on the way back home from the hospital, we didn't really talk much. He was focusing on driving, but actually there were tears rolling down his eyes. After my first leukemia occurrence, I went for a bone marrow transplant from a cord blood unit. Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get 2 cord blood units from Singapore Cord Blood Bank.
cord blood is a source of blood-forming stem cells for transplantation. They are one of the sources of blood-forming stem cells, including bone marrow, peripheral blood, as well as cord blood. Now, this cord blood, although it's small in volume, usually about less than 100 mils or so, in that small volume, there's a very high concentration of stem cells, enough for transplantation of someone to save somebody's life. So, cord blood is a good source because the immune cells are younger, they're more adaptable and able to be trained to adapt to a different immune system much better.
4.5 years after my transplant, I relapsed with a different form of leukemia and I have to immediately go for whole body chemo. After my relapse, I was actually paralyzed with fear. I withdrew from my friends. I just felt there wasn't any meaning in life because I was worried that I'll relapse again. And to live with that kind of fear for the rest of your life is really very difficult, and I coped with depression for quite a while. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts, to be honest. I just wanted to end it all. After a few months and I really think it through, I realized it's not worth giving up my life just because something may happen. I just have to live every day to the fullest.
About 30% of these patients, the disease may still come back. Even though it comes back, sometimes the donor cells are able to continue to control the leukemia cells to prevent the leukemia cells from relapsing all over the body. So it may actually control the relapse at a particular spot so that the relapse is not in every part of the body. It makes it easier for us to get the disease back under control as well.
Peng Yang now works as a research officer in the National Cancer Centre Singapore. He felt a calling to go into research for leukemia as he went through a lot as a leukemia patient himself. Now, Peng Yang speaks to young patients who were in the same situation as he was to encourage and allay their fears about transplantation. He was awarded the Singapore Health Inspirational Patient Award in 2017.
I think the education has to be there also, because maybe some parents are not aware that they can actually have this option to donate their cord blood if they have a chance. So that small act of kindness can actually help a lot in changing someone else's life. And I hope that all the mothers out there will consider donating cord blood so that we have a bigger pool of cord blood to help other people like me, the patients.
These people have managed to get a second chance in life because of the gift of life from someone. This act of love has allowed the recipients to continue to live their lives, chase their dreams, and be there for their family.
我很想感谢就是医院的医生还有护士，就是很帮助我妈妈也是。
I will say to my son, I thank you very much for donating his kidney to me.
I want to thank him. If not because of him, I won't be cured. Yeah, until now.
Your decision to donate really changed my life and changed everyone around me. And I'm really thankful to the whole family for giving me the second chance in life.